7 pitch. Harper hits one in the air, left center field. Back it goes. Harper, the swing of his life. It is bedlam at the bank. Swung on, hit, crushed, and the Phillies are going to lead it 4-0. Now Harper sends one in the air, way back to right center. That one's gone. This place explodes. It's good. Right center field. Lightning strikes. Right field. Sakara's out. Castellanos on. And the Philadelphia Phillies are going to the World Series.
Hello, Phillies fans. Welcome back to the Bell Ringers podcast. Colin Daly and Ben Goldstein. An unhappy Colin Daly. No, I'm just kidding. Phillies big 10-4 win last night against the San Francisco Giants, their wild card rival. We know we haven't potted in a while. Potted? Can we?
Potted, that's a new one.
Now? That's a new one. We're going to make that a word. We have not done a podcast in a while. That's all right. We're back now. Hasn't been a month, but it's been close to that. We had some vacations and some time off, but unfortunately, I think while Ben was gone taking time off, the Phillies also took time off, but you know, it's all good. It happens. That was a rough series loss to the Nationals that we all saw on national television there in Williamsport. We'll get to that in a minute or two. Actually, not in a minute or two. That's, if you want to hint, that's one of our Pepper questions is kind of Little League Classic themed. Pepper is going to be our fourth segment.
But to start, we want to welcome you to episode number 35 of the Bell Ringers.
Really?
35. That's what the channel says. The Bell Ringers podcast. This is brought to you by SeatGeek. SeatGeek is a ticketing app that makes it so easy to buy your tickets. All you have to do is download the SeatGeek app or go to SeatGeek.com. They have tickets to literally anything imaginable. If you need a ticket for it, SeatGeek definitely has it. The NFL season right around the corner. NBA preseason, NHL preseason right around the corner. MLB playoffs also right around the corner. Very, very big time for sports. Go to SeatGeek. When you're there and you buy your tickets, use code Philly Sports Report. PHILLYSPORTSREPORT. No spaces.
Hold the S, Ben.
Hold that S. That'll save you $20 off your purchase. It helps us out. It helps you out. So just do it. Thank you, SeatGeek, for starting the podcast. Social medias, go follow us. Link if you're on the YouTube, the link is in the description. If you're not on the YouTube, we are Philly Sports Reports on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Threads. I think that's it. So yeah, go follow us there.
Ben, so you mentioned the Sixers preseason. Is James Harden going to be on the Sixers team?
He's going to have a roster spot. If he is going to play is a different question. I kind of missed all of that, and that's the first thing I was introduced to when I got back. How Harden just called Daryl Morey a liar, which I mean, I don't know. I could smell this happening from a mile away. Which is why I think they should have gotten rid of him. But he opted into the deal, so it was on him. So it's going to be interesting.
It would definitely be interesting. That's a good word for it. So Phillies, of course, they have a 3-game series now against the San Francisco Giants, who are right behind them in the wild card race. Actually, I should go back and tell you the Cubs now. I think I saw this last night. They are in second place. The Giants slid down into the third wild card spot. But regardless, it's paramount. The Phillies take the series against San Francisco. Tonight they've got Taijuan Walker on the bump. They have Michael Lorenzen going in game 3. He's going to have to bounce back after a rough start against the Nationals on Friday.
You were correct. The Cubs do have the second spot. They're a half game up of the Giants. Arizona's a half game back of San Francisco. Cincinnati's a game back. Miami's a game and a half. You love to see the Mets 6.5 games back.
I'll tell you, the Mets have a very, very easy September schedule. They have I don't want them to, but they have the potential to do something very funny. I mean, they traded away their DH, 2 outfielders, their two best starting pitchers.
No, it's not gonna happen.
It's not going to happen.
You want to hear
So,
the Oakland Athletics run differential?
negative 261.
Cold.
What? It
Minus
can't be
three,
worse than that.
minus 301. It's always fun in section 301.
301. That's great.
Oh
Oh
my
man.
goodness. Minus 301's crazy. They are by far the worst. The second worst is Colorado, minus 169.
Well, I'll tell you, the Phillies, they've been climbing a little bit. They were right around like the 0 to 10. I think they're up in the 30s, 40s now.
They're plus 50 now.
Plus 50. I guess that last night probably did help. Well, their wins, they're getting some substantial wins now. I mean, they had 13-2 against the Twins, 12-3 against the Nats, and their losses here are like 8-7,
Yeah.
2-1, 3-0, 4-3,
The Brewers and the
9-8.
Phillies have the same exact record. So if the Phillies were in the NL Central, they would be tied for first place.
As we're recording this, I think there's a massive fight breaking out at Eagles down in South Philly.
Oh, they're
Are
practicing
you,
with the Colts.
are you
Kelsey just stuck there. Oh my goodness. Kelsey's getting
The entire teams are on the field pushing and shoving. Well, I mean, Jason Kelsey is a pretty big dude. He was actually bartending about 45 seconds away from my shore house a couple
Yeah,
weekends ago,
he does that
94-1.
every year. That's like his thing. He does that with the Eagles.
Yeah. I probably could have looked out my window and seen him. I'm not kidding. Anyway, back to the Phillies, the more important team right now, because they are the only one playing, other than the Union situation confuses me. I
What
feel like they're like,
confuses you with the Union?
well, I thought they lost and they played another game like 3 days later.
Because one was a League's Cup game, the other one's an MLS game. They were in the League's Cup is like a tournament, and then the MLS is like the actual games.
Well, did they win anything?
They win a trophy if they won the League's Cup, but they lost to Messi.
Well, yeah, I got that part, but what was the Friday game?
MLS game.
Like a normal MLS game with
Yeah,
playoffs?
like a normal league game. Like it's just part of that goes to the record.
Well, did they clinch something?
They clinched a different tournament next year.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, it's
I'm lost. All right.
I don't
Again,
blame you.
back to the important team here. So, Phillies split with the Blue Jays. I thought that was a pretty solid series. Ben didn't catch that one. The 2-1 loss was definitely frustrating. That had Yusei Kikuchi on the mound. Weren't really able to muster anything up against him. Phillies did hit Kevin Gausman pretty well, just something they haven't done in the past. Big game from Bryce Harper there. The series loss to the Twins was a frustrating one. Pretty pathetic performance on the Wall of Fame alumni. The Toyota Phillies Alumni Day. They got shut out on that Sunday, and then
They
they
had the
did a
bases
really,
loaded
really
like 3 times. I heard the umpire
yeah.
was terrible.
The umpiring was. I think Alec Boehm could give you the best write up of how bad those umpires were. There was a point where I thought every Phillies player was going to get ejected. It didn't happen. Harper somehow managed to stay in the game. And I don't know if you saw this, but Alex McKay, was the home plate umpire. That same umpire crew had like another issue that kind of went viral on Twitter, like 2 or 3 days later. Series win against the Nationals was solid. Honestly, the most shocking thing from there is that the Phillies won the day after Michael Lorenzen's no-hitter. I mean, that is shocking. Absolutely shocking. They would throw a no-hitter and then coming out and losing 12-1 is my expectation for the next day.
Yeah.
I'm shocked they won that game. And they won the following game. They threw a no-hitter and won 2 straight. Royals, they played a sloppy series. It is what it is. They got the win. That's what's important. And the Marlins, I think a series win over the Marlins is solid. I would argue that it should have been a sweep. They had that 198 loss. It was definitely a punch in the
But that's the
gut
game where
there.
Trey Turner said he blamed the loss on him. That game.
Yes, it was. That was when Dylan Covey almost
Oh,
got
we
out of that
haven't
inning,
we
and
haven't spoke since we fixed Trey Turner.
we have not. So I can't remember. We were both team ovation, right?
Well, I was at the game. I was at the
What'd you
first
do?
game. I gave him a standing ovation.
That's nice.
I was at the first game. Um, my good friend, the Philly captain, fixed Trey Turner.
I
I was there to help.
I think it depends on the player with the whole ovation thing, because it's definitely not straightforward. The Alec Boehm one, yeah, I definitely think the Alec Boehm one was better because it wasn't forced, it wasn't planned, it just happened. And we were showing our appreciation for a player who took responsibility for a non-baseball action. Whereas with Turner, it felt a little bit forced.
Well, we could tell we could all tell that he was in his head. And
That's true.
something was
And
wrong
he
mental.
did say that he blamed the loss on himself and told everyone that he has to be better. And I really do think it's the recognition. Like, I do think part of it was the recognition. Like, if he just kept playing poorly, I don't think he would have given him the ovation.
Well, yeah, him
Um,
saying that was like, okay, this guy needs some help.
yeah, yeah, I agree. I mean, the only way it could have gone wrong is if that didn't happen and there wasn't that interview and we did it and it just kind of looked disingenuous, like we were just cheering for him being bad. Or I don't think that was the intention, even if it was the reality. But again, at this point, he appreciated it. He turned his season around. He's batting well over 300 since then, so no complaints there. So now, Ben, we got coming up. Like I said, we have the series against the Giants. They played 6:40 p.m. tonight, 4:05 tomorrow. Off day on Thursday. You know what I hate about these Thursday off days?
What?
They don't get our powder blue jerseys.
Well, that's why they picked Thursday because that's the least amount of. That's usually there's no games on Thursday, so they
Well,
don't
it
have to
was
wear them as much.
Monday, and now it's all Thursday. I mean, what's our September schedule? We've got all
It's
right.
very rare that they wear that they actually play on Thursday.
We're gonna have two games in September. Phillies Mets at home on the 21st on my birthday, and the
Ooh.
28th. Yeah, my birthday's on a Thursday. That's gross.
I think we should have
And
a little Colin Daly birthday party at the Phillies game.
oh, that would be solid.
Ooh.
I mean, I'm gonna have school the next day, but we'll see. And then the
Oh,
Pirates the 28th. Um, that will be a powder blue game. Anyway, coming up again off day Thursday, Cardinal series Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then the Angels will be a fun series with Shohei Ohtani in the city of brotherly love. Maybe then, just maybe, it'll be a little preview or like his tour before coming to Philadelphia on a long-term deal.
that's just not gonna happen.
It's not going to happen.
It's just not. It's just not gonna
Honestly, I
happen.
don't even know if I want it to happen. That's just too much for me.
See, like my good friend John Middleton, um, might have a lot of money and probably enough for Shohei Ohtani, but he just doesn't fit on the team. So, because we need Harper. I don't think Harper. Do we think Harper will be ready to play right field by then? Maybe. And then what do we do with Schwarber? What do we do with Castellanos with our designated hitter when Otani's not pitching? Or even if Otani
Imagine
is
if
pitching, put
imagine if you
Otani
got a
first
guy like
base.
Schwarber coming off the bench. Like just think about what you can do is do I mean it depends how much you value defense, but theoretically, you've got JT behind the plate, you have Harper at first. At second, you've got Stott. Short is Turner. Bohm at third. Left is Schwarber, center is Marsh, and Castellanos is right, and Otani's your DH.
You're
Again,
just
I don't know
keeping
how much you value
you're
defense,
just keeping
but
Harper at first base for the rest of his career.
I think Bryce Harper is the type of player who, if he can get Shohei Ohtani on his team and he
He would
has
do
to
it.
sacrifice playing right field,
Yeah, he
he
would do
would
it.
do it in a heartbeat.
I would do that too.
You need to
And
get some major leagues first.
he's been pretty solid.
He has. I mean, I don't have any complaints. He does what he needs to do. He's not the best first baseman in baseball. He's not going to be like Freeman or Goldschmidt over there, but he does what he needs to do. He fields the balls that are hit at him. He's made some incredible catches. Pop ups, obviously, the one against the Guardians um, was the highlight there. And I feel like he hasn't had the opportunity to scoop many balls. There haven't been a ton of balls thrown that he has to pick. But hey, we'll take it. I'm sure he's okay at those, but it's a lot easier to catch the ball when it's in the air. So Ben, we'll probably pod after the Cardinals and Angels. What do you what are you going to give us for your record? I know you should do this at the end, but we'll cut to it right now. We've got, we'll go 7 games here. We got Giants for 1. We're not going to predict tonight's game because that's probably, well, can we? This will be out pretty soon, right?
Yeah, I have all day today. I'll get it out.
All right. So we got 8 games then. 2 against the Giants, 3 against the Cardinals, 3 against the Angels. What you got?
All right, so I think we split with the Giants these next two. I think we win tonight and lose on Wednesday. Well, I'm going to the
Really?
game. I'm going to the game tonight, so I want to win.
Uh,
Then it was 3 against who?
Cardinals.
We should probably will not sweep the Cardinals, so we'll go. We'll win 2 of 3 there, so then that's 3-2. Yeah, and then 3 against the Angels. We should win that series too. So realistically, you're looking at 5-3. But what I think I think we sweep the Cardinals. So I'm looking at 6-2.
So I'm the opposite there. I'm going to say 6-2, but we sweep the Angels.
Okay.
And here's why. Well, the Cardinals still have a solid offense. They're not going to get swept a ton. Their pitching is just god awful. I mean, it's really bad. The Angels are kind of in the same boat, but I think that the Cardinals' offense is just a tad better than the Angels' offense. Of course, the Cardinals have Brendan Donovan hurt, and Randall Grichuk hasn't really been killing it for the Angels. He was kind of one of their bigger trade acquisitions. They're probably not going to have Trout back by the time the Angels come to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I know he's been working. From what I understand, he's been working on some running. The hammate's obviously an issue, but he says that he's not going to wait till he's fully healed to play. He thinks he can still contribute to the team in some arm discomfort. The real reason, though, that I think the Phillies can sweep the Angels is because whether you want to admit it or not, everyone is rooting for the Angels.
Yeah.
Right? They've got Ohtani. They have Trout. Their owner, Art Moreno, is just a disaster class. And they went all in. They're going to be terrible next season, like so bad. The players' contracts are expiring except Trout for the most part. Their farm system is probably one of the worst in It's not worse than the Astros. The Astros are really bad. Their minor league system's terrible. But the Angels are a close second or third. So just because everyone's rooting for the Angels, they're gonna get swept. I feel like it's bound to happen. They've been playing so poorly. And then the Cardinals series, I think they take 2 or 3.
I'm trying to
And then
track.
split with the Giants.
I'm trying to track when if Otani's gonna pitch. I don't know. I don't know how.
Well, the Cardinals have who do we have going for the Cardinals series?
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Angels pitching schedule. This should tell me. Probable pitchers. Here we go. All right, it didn't tell me anything.
Hmm. They did a segment on Alec Boehm on MLB Network this morning. It might have been last night.
Uh, so he's
Finally
pitching
appreciated that.
on Wednesday. So he's pitching tomorrow. And how many people are in their thing? What's their man rotation? How many pitchers the Angels have?
The Angels? I don't know.
One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. You think he'll pitch in like 9, 10, 11 days?
I don't know. Well, hold on. What do you mean in 9, 10, 11
All right.
days?
Anyway, next segment. We have the roster slash lineup evaluation brought to you by Colin Daly.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I feel like I'm good at taking a certain stance on topics that are highly debated. The lineup, though, I just cannot figure it out for the life of me. It's it's very tricky. So I don't want to actually start from the top. I want to start from the bottom.
Oh,
The What's so confusing is because any of your options that you're putting toward the bottom of the lineup are your faster guys, right? You've got Edmundo Sosa hits toward the bottom of the lineup. Johan Rojas, when he's there, he's in the 9 hole. Garrett Stubbs is quick. Jake Cave is pretty quick. Who am I missing here? Ben Marsh is quick. He's usually somewhere between 7 and 9. And when you leave Kyle Schwarber in leadoff spot, you completely negate their speed. And this is what's tricky about it because you've got think of a guy like Johan Rojas or Brendan Marsh. I would say more Rojas here. Sosa could fit this profile. Hit for a high average, not a ton of power, right? Rojas is going to poke a single up the middle, maybe something the other way, might pull up between in the 5-6 hole. But he has the ability to essentially end up on second whenever he hits a single. Same thing goes for Trey Turner. But when you have Kyle Schwarber hitting behind you, or I guess in front of you, I don't know how you would phrase that because he's the 1 hitter and he's the 9 hitter, but he comes up after you. It's a tool. It's probably Rojas' second best tool behind his ability to get really good reads on fly balls is his speed, and you're not utilizing that at all. Because there's no situation with Kyle Schwarber batting where you think, I need to steal a base right here. What do you think? Like, do you follow why I see that issue?
yeah. I just think moving Schwarber's so good in that lead. Like when he's in that leadoff spot, he can produce. So like, I just don't. I see all the
He produced
people.
though because he's hitting 180.
Well, he's a better hitter in the leadoff spot than he is
Well, no, we
betting
don't know that.
wise.
We've never given him the extended opportunity to show that he can also be a good hitter at another spot in the lineup.
When they did it in the beginning of the season, he was horrible, and then they started moving him, and he instead of hitting 140, he hit 180. So I don't know if what spot that he should be in. I don't love him in the leadoff spot, but I also don't love him
I agree.
like
Yeah, I agree with that
it's
too.
like I don't know, I don't know where to put him.
Whoa, James Harden's got fined 100K.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, because then I keep seeing these problems as I'm trickling down. Because the guys who they do put at the bottom of the lineup, singles hitters. So, for instance, I don't understand why you're going to put Brendan Marsh at the bottom of the lineup and then have him hit. Because Brandon Marsh has been your second best, most consistent hitter on this team prior to his injury. I shouldn't say best or most consistent, but he's had the most power and extra base hits. He's got a really good eye. His OPS really is the second best behind Bryce Harper right now. It's in like the low eights, which honestly, if someone told me at the beginning of the season that only two Phillies players were going to have an OPS in the 800s, I'd be super concerned. But yet here we are. It's August. The offense has been underwhelming, and we're going to have to fight through that.
We're saving it for October.
But sure, of course, we're saving it for October. If you're going to put Brandon Marsh at the bottom of the lineup, why wouldn't you put him right behind the guy who leads your team in home runs and RBI? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So right now, how the lineup looks is you've got. See, this makes me so frustrated. I can't even talk about it. You got Marsh, who's hitting 7th or 8th, and then you got like Jake Cave, who he's been hot recently, but at the end of the day, he's been a AAA player in his career for a reason. And then after him, you've got Johan Rojas, who you know what, Rojas is great, good for him. But at the same time, he's hitting like 250 in his last however many games is that? His last 7 games. So I'm not completely sold on Kyle Schwarber hitting leadoff still. At this point in the season, I don't think it's smart to mess with it. Are they exceeding expectations? No. But at the rate they're going, are they going to make the playoffs if they at least keep up this pace? They are. If you move down in the lineup, the rest I'm honestly fine with. Trey Turner in the 2-hole, I can deal with that. I can power through and I can make it. I don't love it, but it's there. He's got to hit somewhere in the lineup. I really actually like what they did last night, staggering the lefties and righties. I feel like that handcuffed Gabe Kapler a little bit. I think that's important because he's not my favorite guy. I don't like his managerial strategies that much, but I know he's smart. And when there's something there, like a lefty, and you got 4 lefties in a row, like they did 2 nights ago, Gabe Kapler's going to see right through that and put his best lefty in that spot. So,
Wait, when did we do that? We had our 4. Was I not here for that?
I thought that was Sunday night.
I don't
Didn't they
remember.
go? Because I think it was. They went.
Wait.
Hold on,
Time.
because it was they stacked a whole bunch of lefties against Trevor Williams. Because up until last night, Trevor Williams couldn't get lefties out. Or sorry, up until 2 nights ago, Trevor Williams couldn't get lefties out until he decided to spin 2-hit, no-run ball against.
Oh yeah, we went Marsh, Cave, Stubbs, Schwarber.
And then Schwarber.
Yeah.
And then we get down there, we've got Castellanos 3-4 hole. He's been a little underwhelming lately. I prefer Nick Castellanos when he's hitting singles and doubles and not home runs. Though I will say, when he does hit home runs, they definitely seem to be ones in much-needed situations. Like JT Realmuto is the king of hitting home runs that we don't need. When was the last time JT Realmuto hit a clutch home run other than Game 1 of the World Series? Exactly. JT Realmuto hits home runs in games and we don't need them.
Opening day, you hit a clutch one. Not opening day, the home opener.
Yeah, I don't remember that, to be honest with you.
It was like the 7th inning or something. He had one to take the lead. I remember that.
Well, I feel like he had a relatively clutch one recently. But he definitely has a lot of ones that are not super relevant compared to a guy like Castellanos. So I feel like whenever he does hit one, it's important. We saw it against the now you weren't here for this, but we saw it against the Nationals in Game 2 of that series. So we've been talking about the lineup construction. I guess I don't know if you want to say this is a good problem to have or a bad problem to have. We have a utility logjam. I want to go just touch on this real quick before we play our pepper. So we got let's give you a little rundown. We got Edmundo Sosa. Hitting 252 on the season. His OPS is at 721, but in his last 7 games, he's got an OPS well over 1,000. He's batting .333. He's 5 for 15. And even if you go back all the way to his last 30 games, hitting 267 with an OPS at 903, if I'm doing my math right here. 353 plus 550, 903. Yeah. You've got Johan Rojas. He, I think, is the trickiest one here because I do not want him on this team if he's not going to play consistently and play every day. He's only 23 years old. He needs to get sent down to Lehigh Valley if he's not going to play every day we can continue to, hit more balls in the line, to improve his play discipline. Ever since coming to the majors, his strikeout numbers have been a little bit higher than you'd hope. Even his base running has been a little bit underwhelming. He's been picked off a couple times. And I don't think it's for a lack of awareness, but I feel like with how fast he is, if he can be even an average base runner in terms of skill and awareness, his speed will make him an above average base runner immediately. Because he doesn't get great jumps. And then he tries to get a great jump against a guy that's a lefty. We saw this last night, and he gets picked off. So I think there's definitely some improvement needed there. And I'm not fully against Johan Rojas being in the major leagues. I'm only against him being up here if he's not going to play on a semi-regular basis. If he's going to play 2 out of 3 games in a series, I can live with that. But if he's going to play any less than that, he has to go down. Weston Wilson got sent down, and no offense to him, but he's 28 years old, career minor league player. His development isn't really as much as a priority for me. He was the 501st pick in the 2016 draft. He's shown that he has power. His play discipline has been really good since he's up there. He's drawn a ton of walks. Well, he's only had like 10 plate appearances, but he's drawn a ton of walks. And he got sent down for doing absolutely nothing wrong offensively nor defensively. Rodolfo Castro, well, he's your trade deadline acquisition. He's not going to get sent down. He is hitting where is this number here? He's hitting 118 with the Phillies, Ben. 118.
Hey.
17 at-bats, 7 strikeouts. One of his hits was a weak infield single that maybe sort of could have been scored in error. You know what the other one was? It was off position player. So in my opinion, he has no hits with the Phillies.
Who is this?
Castro. In my opinion, he has no hits with the Phillies. And then there's Jake Cave, who I don't think is getting sent down. His numbers have actually skyrocketed. I mean, for starters, in his last 15 games, he's hitting 325, and he's got an OPS over 1,000. So he's not going to get sent down. His season numbers, he's all the way up to a 252 batting average and a 730 OPS. So I think he's going to stay put. But I do think you need to find a way to give Cave and Johan consistent playing time. But I'm just not sure that they can both get consistent playing time in the major leagues. So if you're Sam Fold and Dave Dombrowski,
oh my God, I forgot
Ned
Sam Fold
Rice,
existed.
I know, we all do.
Hey.
What are you going to do with this log jam? So I don't think you can send down Castro. Do we agree on that?
Does he have options?
I think so. But at the end of the day, like I said, I don't understand why everyone wanted to bench back because you weren't going to get any good options. And I don't think you should have paid a huge price for a guy who's only going to play once in a 3 or 4 game series and probably won't even play the entire game. So I'm happy with the bench situation. It pains me to say this because I love him as a player, but I don't think Johan Rojas should be in the major leagues right now. I will say, though, I love when I look at the lineup card and I see him slotted in center field, and
the guy can play. The guy can play some center field. I gotta give.
Well, he has the most defensive runs saved since the All-Star break, so you definitely have a point there, and his hitting has actually been okay since coming up. I think he could elevate the ball a little bit more. I think he could be even better. I definitely think that it's been a huge adjustment from Double-A pitching to Major League pitching. He doesn't look as comfortable at the plate. But again, with more Major League reps, more Major League reps is the only way that's going to improve. Unfortunately, I'm not sure that now is the time for that to happen. So we've had this conversation for a minute now. Ben, give me your bench right now if you had to choose.
All right. So Sosa and Cave have to be there. Those are my two have to because they're both hitting the
Same with
ball well
Stubbs,
right now.
obviously.
Yes, Stubbs. He obviously. I I s- I love Johan Rojas's defense. I think he's one of the best defensive center fielders the Phillies have had in a since I don't know. It's been a long time since we've had this good of a defensive center fielder. Maybe since Gary Maddox back in the 80s.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. That's what I was thinking.
so I think he could start every day when Schwarber's DHing, he could be an everyday player. You have Marsh in left field. Um, I don't know in the playoffs what they'll do with Rojas. I don't know if he's gonna play every day. In the postseason, so we'll get there. Weston Wilson has been set down. I no opinion. And Castro, I mean, I just
He has been brutal.
yeah. At least he's not playing
The
in
at
front of his
bats aren't
bucket.
good. That's true, but his at bats aren't good. Not getting any results from these bad at bats, even when they're not completely horrible. He's still making outs. And here's what's tricky. You shouldn't say that a major league player only play against a certain handedness of a pitcher because that's ridiculous. You're not going to become good if he's sheltered from right-handed pitching. However, Thompson and the team have not put in the best situations to succeed. Everyone knows that he cannot hit a right-handed pitcher to save his life. He only hits lefties. That's just how he is. And they haven't given him opportunities against left-handed pitchers consistently to show that he can. They use the word mash. I think that's the word Dave Dombrowski used, or someone from it might have been Thompson in an interview, somebody against these lefties because they're starting him pretty equally against lefties and righties, and he's not going to get results, and we shouldn't expect results. Excuse me. So he's also a tricky one. Like I said, this entire situation is tricky, but I think Castro is going to end up. I mean, he's going to stay. I don't think he should stay, but I think he's going to stay.
Utility logjam, 2023, buddy.
What about Covey? Before we go to Pepper,
Oh my God,
Covey
he's
got to
terrible.
get sent
He's
down.
he is terrible. I don't know how
No, he's not.
he sucks.
You know what Covey's ERA is in his last few appearances?
What has he done in
Give me a second here.
his last two appearances? He blew the game against Washington, and he gave up
He
two
blew
bad
the
runs
game against.
yesterday.
What do you mean he blew the game against Washington?
That's what I heard.
I think you heard something wrong.
Yesterday against San Francisco, he was bad.
All right. So after last night, he still has a 3.38 ERA in his last 7 games. It's 8 innings of work. In his last 15 games and 19 and third innings, he's a 3.26 ERA. His most recent appearances. Last night we're going to exclude because I'm a nice guy. My man literally threw 9 strikes that entire time he was pitching.
Well,
He
what was
threw
the
two
deal?
scoreless innings and struck out one against the Nationals. He allowed 1 run in an inning against that wasn't his finest moment. But then other than that, he's been great. No earned runs in 2 innings against the Twins. He struck out 4. A scoreless inning against the Royals on the 4th of August. An inning and no earned runs against the Marlins on the 2nd of August. July 29th, a scoreless inning.
No wait, how did
July
we?
20th, two
All right,
scoreless
how
innings.
did we lose against Washington on Friday? I heard Covey came in for the ninth, and
Washington on Friday. No. That was Lorenzen. Hold on a minute.
like
Now I will say I didn't I didn't miss a tad bit of that game. So I was in the car I was watching it at dinner, and then I came home, so I missed like a half an inning. But I could very well be wrong. Um, why can't I get to the schedule on this stupid website? Oh, here we go. That's because I'm doing it wrong. um, when was this? Saturday? No,
Oh,
Friday.
someone told me wrong because somebody said that Covey was terrible on Friday. That watched the game. So,
Let me see.
all right, no, he threw 2 scoreless innings. What?
Well, he did allow 2 hits, so it's possible that he came in a situation and where is
Well, he
this?
was the
Oh,
last pitcher on Friday, so I don't know.
oh no, yeah, you're right. So it was him and he and Hoffman came in, and Hoffman combined to get 11 outs and allow no runs. They were both great.
All
Yeah, I
right,
remember
someone was lying to me.
talking about this in post game. Yeah, you got lied to then. All right, so now I'm going to lie to you some more and give you some hard trivia questions. And Pepper, you ready for these?
Oh boy.
All right, you have 20 seconds. Now there are only 3 questions today because it's a bit of a longer. The questions are a little bit longer. Here goes my in the camera. Are you ready?
By the way, this podcast is brought to you by SeatGeek.
Yes,
Go
it
to
is.
SeatGeek and use code Philly Sports Support. Save $20 for a SeatGeek purchase. Now it's time for some pepper. Do-do-do. We don't have any pepper music.
I'll do my best Steve Harvey impression.
What's your favorite
All right,
game show?
Ben. That's a good one. Uh, yeah, it's Jeopardy. Has to be. I love Jeopardy. I watch it whenever I can. I go in streaks. I'll watch like every night for 3 weeks when I have got like not a lot going on that I won't watch for like a month and a half. But I do on my Alexa. So I have like the one of the newer ones where it's like actually has a screen. I'll play. You get like 6 free daily questions that fit the actual categories of that night's show.
Oh, that's cool.
So, and I'm usually pretty good at it because it's random stuff, and I'm good at random stuff. I can't tell you like the stuff that everyone else knows, like normal random things going on in the world, but random crap information,
Yeah, so
got you covered.
you're a walking book of useless knowledge.
Yes, I am. Well, in certain topics, like I know more about baseball than I need to know, but like world affairs, I've got no idea what's going on. I know there are people like shooting each other in Ukraine and Russia, but that's pretty much all I got on that information. Pretty much all I've got.
There's a lot more to that, but okay. Anyway,
Before I get canceled, let's go.
pepper. Let's do the pepper.
All right. So Ben, we got 20 seconds on the clock. I shouldn't be Steve Harvey. I'm not good at this.
What was that? You never asked me what
We
my
got
favorite.
your-
You never asked me what my favorite
Okay,
game show was.
okay, fine. What's yours? Is it Family Feud?
It is Family Feud.
Da 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 da.
It carried COVID. Watch Family
And
Feud
what?
every night. Carried COVID.
Oh,
I watch Family Feud every night to the sports.
that's solid. All right. So we got 20 seconds on the clock. Timer's going to start after I finish reading you the first question. If you do not know an answer, you can pass, and we'll come back to it during there is time at the end.
All right, how much are we playing for $20,000?
How about 20 virtual fist bumps?
Word.
Only 3 questions because they're longer. Here we go. In 2017, who led the Phillies in starting pitcher ERA and OPS respectively?
Hellickson?
Time to start.
Jeremy Hellickson?
No.
Eichhoff?
What about OPS? You're running out of time.
Wait, OPS. So we're
Oh
talking
boy,
about.
this timer.
Wait, hold on. Timeout. Time the clock. Time the
Okay.
clock. I think I did. What were the stats you said in the first question?
ERA among starters and OPS.
Okay, 2017. Hellickson's
Here
off.
we go.
Hellickson's off.
18 seconds.
Who else is on that list? Nola?
Yes, there you go. That's one.
Okay. There's
All
multiple?
right, next question. Before being traded from the Dodgers to the Phillies in 2016, A.J. Ellis was this pitcher's personal catcher.
Kershaw?
Correct. The Little League Classic just 2 days ago was hosted in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, at the same ballpark where former Phillies affiliate, the Williamsport Crosscutters, play. Before becoming a Phillies affiliate in 2007, what organization were the Crosscutters a part of?
Bro, this could literally be like 29 teams. Pittsburgh?
That's correct.
Oh my,
How did you get that?
the other Pennsylvania team.
That's smart. That
Yeah.
is. I didn't even think of that. Do you know who they were before Pittsburgh? It's not a team close to us. Same division, though, as the Pirates. That really narrows it down.
Milwaukee? Chicago?
Cubs.
So random.
It is.
Why would Chicago have a
You
team in Williamsport?
couldn't tell you. They probably weren't too smart back then. Do you want me to tell you who led the team in OPS in 2017?
Hold on, let me think.
You're going to laugh at this one.
All right, hold on. Are all-star
Actually, when I tell you who was second in OPS, you'll laugh even more.
that year was Nishak.
Mm-hmm.
Also the year before was Odubel. But Mike
You know what Nishak's really, really good for me? The Immaculate Grid.
Yeah.
He's lights out on that. All-star appearance, Phillies, Astros, Cardinals, Rockies. I want to say Angels.
It was all over the place. Wasn't he like a Met or something?
No, that's Tommy Hunter. Tommy
Oh.
Hunter was on the Mets for a bit. Same with Robertson, obviously.
All right.
And
So
you know who else was on the Mets? You know who just got recalled by the Mets a few days ago? Vinny Natoli. Remember him?
oh my God.
He pitched a couple of games for us last year. Or 2 years ago, maybe.
The Italian stallion. Give me Michael Franco.
No, he was 6th or 7th, I think. That was one of his rough years. Really rough years.
Is it Odubel? Galvis?
Pretty sure 17. No, Galvis was never a big power guy. I remember.
Just naming names.
He had 19 home runs. He was an outfielder.
Aaron Altair?
There you go.
Hey!
Now here's another one. You know who was second with an 8? I think it was 821 OPS. I looked it up a little bit ago. Who's also an outfielder, rookie.
Rookie out.
He currently has the same name, first name, as the Phillies' current right fielder. One of my favorite players back then.
Oh my God, Nick.
Yeah, the skinny guy.
Oh, what was his name? What's his last name? I know his name.
He was
Oh,
a skinny
Nick.
little.
Nick.
He was
Nick
a skinny
Williams.
little
Nick
lefty
Williams.
who, yeah.
Oh
He
my
had the
God.
very when he hit, he was lefty and he had the very
Oh, here we go.
He's down here.
Yeah.
He hit like this. He's down here. Then he would
Remember
go woo, and then he'd swing.
they did a Nick Williams T-shirt giveaway that one time.
No, it's pathetic.
Yeah.
That was it. Honestly, though, that wasn't a terrible era because that was like the Nick Williams, Seranthony Dominguez time. Remember that, like 2018.
Those
When we
teams
first
were
saw those two.
we knew those teams were gonna suck, and those teams were so fun. Like
I
that's
enjoyed those teams.
those
I really
teams.
did.
Those teams got me into Michael Franco, Freddie Galvis, Cesar Hernandez got me into baseball.
When they won, it was so exciting because
Yeah.
no one expected it. Especially, and when they went on those little runs and there were scrappy hits from Cesar and Galvis, and he would do like the Jeter.
Yeah,
Galvis could do that.
Freddie Galvis made every play at shortstop. He never made.
The Tommy Joseph Ryan Howard platoon. I love that too.
Remember the Tyler Goodell, the Tyler Goodell to Cameron Ruff outfield assist to end the game. He threw the ball on the fly to Ruff and he got slammed at home.
Yes.
I'm gonna play it because that's the greatest.
I love.
That's like the
Goodell was a big project for them. They really wanted him to pan out, and he didn't.
Cameron Ruff is the greatest.
If you want to find it, you should put in Cameron Rupp with 2 P's.
All right, here we go. Ruppies Puppies.
Is that an actual thing?
That was his his fan group was the Ruppies Puppies. All right, there's no audio.
This is choppy.
Yeah. Do this. Perfect throw.
Oh, that looks painful. Is that David Hernandez?
Number 30.
Wasn't that a person? David Hernandez? He was a guy, right?
I think so.
David Hernandez? Why do I remember that name? Oh, that bullpen was great too. Remember who their three high
Yeah, David
leverage guys are?
David Hernandez.
Yeah. He was pretty decent. They had their seventh inning guy was Itabre Ramos.
Yeah.
Remember him?
Oh my God.
Their eighth inning was
Adam Morgan
Adam
pitched
Morgan.
every night.
He pitched it. He was like this year's Strom. And then they
Okay.
had who was Neris was their eighth inning guy,
Yeah.
and their tenth inning guy, or jeez,
Ninth inning.
their closer was Jemar Gomez. He had like 40 something saves some year. He was solid.
Oh, those names.
Some of those closers back then were so awesome. Remember they had that was in Edwin Diaz was a Mariner. The Aroldis Chapman was like lights out for like the Reds and the Yankees.
We
The
threw 100.
Cardinals had
We used to throw
Swung
107
Quan
miles an
O.
hour.
Yeah, I know. Well, I watched. Oh my gosh, I watched the Diamondbacks Rangers game last night. It was awesome. Jordan Montgomery throws 8 scoreless innings for Texas. Aroldis Chapman comes in. It was 1-0 game in the ninth, and Chapman comes in. Ketel Marte in the last inning hits a solo home run to tie it.
Oh no.
Seawald shuts the door in the in the top of the 10th. Yeah, it was in Arizona. They keep in Chapman, Aroldis Chapman, for the 10th inning. He throws 2 innings with the Manfred man on like so so Chapman's already thrown 1 inning. The Manfred man's on second, and they want Chapman to hold the lead because the Rangers didn't score in the top of the 10th. He does it. They go to the 11th. The Diamondbacks bring in Kevin Ginkel, who's had a great season for
Kevin Ginkle.
Kevin Ginkel. Have you heard of him? He's been pretty solid recently.
Ginkle might be the greatest last name I've ever heard in my life.
No, it's still Stubbs. Always Stubbs.
Ginkle is awesome.
Anyway, Ginkel comes in. He allows 2 runs. The Rangers go to the bottom of the 11th. The Rangers bring in Will Smith, not the slap in the face one, not the catcher for the Dodgers. The relief pitcher, Braves. Remember him?
Yeah, I know. I remember this.
Well, he hasn't. He's been all right this season, but he's platooned the closer role, or what do they call that? Not the communal closer, the
Committee.
closer by committee. Yeah, closer by committee. With Chapman since they've gotten him.
Remember, we were supposed to have a committee.
We were. That's always been our thing, though.
Yeah, we just did not work
There was
out.
the Neris committee, the Kimbrel committee. Last year was the Alvarado committee.
Yeah.
I don't remember who the other person in the committee was. Like, Dominguez.
Remember Eflin closed some games last year?
Oh yeah. I didn't like Eflin out of the bullpen.
He was all right.
I do like Ranger out of the bullpen though. I think I want Ranger in the pen this postseason.
We'll see about that.
I don't know. Right now, if the postseason started right now, I don't think I could give you my starting 5.
Well, I
I
don't
know
know if,
all I know is Wheeler's won. That's all I got.
Lorenzen too.
Nola's been no. You didn't see his last start. He was bad.
Well, he was. Pitchers always stink after a no-hitter. So
I don't know. This was another. Well, first of all, he got like 8 days of rest, and I think he threw 2 bullpens in between. And I mean, it was like another level of bad. He left everything over the plate. Like the fact that he actually made it to the 4th inning kind of shocked me. Like he made it to the 4th inning unscathed, shocked me. Obviously, up until the 4th inning when he got rocked, because he was horrendous. Taiwan Walker has been super inconsistent. I shouldn't say he's not been inconsistent. He's been so the whole like I can't pitch the first 2 innings thing. I can't stand because you cannot play a postseason game, and every time Taiwan Walker pitches, you're immediately like losing 2-0, and the offense has to fight back. The entire city of Philadelphia will go into cardiac arrest for starters. And two, it's just not a good way to play a postseason game. Starting off losing every single time. And again, Lorenzen, I'm not completely sold on. He has no track record of being a good starting pitcher in his entire career history. And I wouldn't want to throw him into a World Series game too. And who else is there? Well, Ranger, honestly, has been good as of late. So, I don't know. Now he's on the IL. So Jack Fritz from WIP suggested that Ranger going to the IL was a phantom IL thing, like where they just put him on the IL and just to give him some rest, like extended rest, and he's not taking up a roster spot. Kind of like the Cardinals did with Adam Wainwright a few weeks ago because he's been like unpitchable this season. He got an ERA in the eights. But I don't understand why they would do that to Ranger, who had been really good in his like 4 previous starts, and not Taijuan Walker, who looks like he got thrown into one of those wood chippers and came out the other side. So that was a terrible analogy. I apologize for that one. That was bad. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm a little confused on that one. So I would think there's actually something going on with Ranger, but I don't think it's an issue.
All right. Remember how I said I didn't have Pepper?
Yeah, you got Pepper now.
Well, I just remembered that tonight at the ballpark is Star Wars night. So I have 3 Star Wars questions for the biggest Star Wars fan out there, Colin Daly. They're not difficult. The first one you probably won't get. The second one's possible that you don't get. The third one you also might not get. So here we go. I got 20 seconds on the clock. This is for $20,000. Welcome back to Family Feud. All right, here we go. All right. The clock starts after I ask you the first question.
No money.
Question 1. What is Baby Yoda's real name?
What? I know this. It's a trick question. Baby Yoda.
Incorrect. Next question. Where was Luke Skywalker raised? Starts with a T.
Next pass.
All right. Final question. What year did the first Star Wars movie come out?
1987.
10 years off.
97.
Now you're 20 years off.
77?
First Star Wars movie came out in 1977.
And then Thailand.
You know, this is in a different galaxy.
Turkey. Oh, wait, really?
All right, so your time's up. So Luke Skywalker's from Tatooine.
Say it one more time.
Tatooine. Have you ever watched
Slower and like enunciate the vowels, please?
Tatooine? The spelling is Tatooine.
No. No. Just no.
Have you ever watched a Star Wars movie?
In full? Well, actually, I haven't seen clips. No, I have not.
Okay. So then I probably should have asked you some easier questions. I'll look for some other questions on here. Here we go. Let's think here. What is the episode number of the very first Star Wars film?
1?
No.
Oh, there's 0 people, aren't they?
4.
Episodes.
They
No,
came
it's
out.
1.
No, they came out 4, 5, 6, and then they did because originally it was just supposed to be 3 movies. Then people loved them so much, so then they added the original story behind, like Luke Skywalker and them.
Who's this person again?
Luke
Is he like
Skywalker.
the main guy?
Luke
I
Skywalker is
thought Darth Vader was the main guy.
Darth Vader's he's the villain.
I thought they were all friends. That's too bad.
No, so Darth Vader. Here's a little Star Wars story for you. So Darth Vader is
God.
actually Luke Skywalker's father. Anakin Skywalker was the chosen one, and they brought him in to like practice being a Jedi. And then the head guy of the Jedi people was like actually like the Darth side master. So he turned Anakin to the dark side. He fought his master Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan cut his legs off and burnt him. Anakin somehow lived. They turned him into Darth Vader, and Vader found out that his son and his daughter was still alive. And you know who his daughter is?
No.
Princess Leia is his daughter.
Who's that?
Okay. She has the donut hair.
Like the food?
All right. I give up. Stick to baseball.
Yeah, that's more my thing.
All right, let me see more questions. What else? Who created Star Wars? He also created Indiana Jones. He owns Lucasfilms. Or he did own Lucasfilms before he sold it to Disney.
I don't know. Your entire story was kind of sketchy, so I'm gonna go with Elon Musk.
George Lucas.
Oh, I should have gotten that if it was Lucasfilms. I don't know who that person is.
Let's see if you're paying attention. Who is Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia's father?
Oh, the lightsaber guy, Vader.
Yeah, very good.
Who's the guy who's like a ball and he rolls around?
BB-8.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
What's R2? Who's R2?
R2D2. He's in. They're called droids. He was he's from the original movies. He followed Darth Vader until he turned to the dark side. Then he went to Luke, and he followed his story, and now he's just kind of there.
Okay, so the CIA. I got that.
Oh my God. Anyway, enough with the Star Wars talk.
Yeah, for real. You got me lost.
What else do we have to talk about? So you failed. You failed my question.
I failed Pepper. Yeah, it's okay. It happens.
Go run polls.
No thanks.
All right. So we did the recap. We did the roster evaluation. We did Pepper. We did the utility log jam. I think that's it.
I think that's it. Rickson Wingrove got called up to AA today. That means nothing too, but that's okay.
Woo! I know exactly.
He's been a good power bat for the Blue Claws this year. I saw him play
like you know the prospects. I know a little bit about Star Wars. I've watched all the movies.
A little bit. You're basically in the family tree.
Well, that's the basic information from. I've watched all the movies. I think there's 9.
That's more than I have.
I think there's 9 of them. I'd watched them on a flight. I binge watched them. I didn't have time.
That sounds incredibly boring.
It was all right.
No, incredibly boring.
It was interesting. They're good movies. Most of them are. There's a few pretty bad ones.
Yeah, I'm more of a go on baseball savant and research metrics and all that good stuff.
You want to do that for the 12-hour flight?
No, I'd probably watch a Netflix show. You're right.
Yeah, you watch Dahmer.
No, I haven't actually watched that. I keep.
That's what you said.
But...
That's what you said. Your off-season project was going to be last year. You were going to watch Dahmer.
Well, yeah, I did tell myself that, but
just didn't do it.
There are some other good ones on Netflix I've been watching.
I haven't. I'm not a show guy. I love movies.
I can't do movies. I don't have the attention span.
I don't have the attention span to binge watch a TV show.
Well, I like details, and in shows you can get more detail, more insight into character development and all that stuff. So it's more.
If you like character development, you should watch Oppenheimer.
Yeah, I've heard that's good. Isn't he a scientist?
He created the atomic bomb.
Oh, Interesting.
It's a very good movie.
Talk about life goals, man. That's up there.
Well, they made in the movie they didn't use CGI. They actually just literally made a bomb for the movie. Like there was no CGI in the movie because it was a Christopher Nolan movie. He doesn't use CGI.
Sounds dangerous.
Very dangerous. Throwing
All right, Ben.
cameras in there.
So you've got the Phillies going 6-2, and split it or not splitting, but
Realistically, 5-3.
realistically 5-3.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
but
right. I'm sorry. Yeah.
yeah, but I'm gonna.
Split with the Giants, 2-3 from each of the red teams.
It's a lot of red this
Yeah.
week.
Well, the Phillies are always red.
A lot of warm colors come to Citizens Bank Park this week.
Orange,
Giants,
red, Nationals. The Twins are like a maroon.
they're more red now. Change their colors. They're like a red.
All right, we've gotten super derailed here, so I think it's time we put a wrap onto this podcast. Make sure that you follow all of our social medias. You can find those down in that description.
Also,
Use
I
SeatGeek.
want to shout out my friends really quick, the Pandemic Crew. If you're going to Citizens Bank Park and you're above the age of 21, go behind section 204. You can now purchase Pandemic Brew, the Pandemic Crew's beer. So if you're above the age of 21, I've heard very good things about it. I obviously cannot drink it because I am not above 21. So go back there, get the beer. It's from the Philadelphia Cocktail Company stand behind section 204. Go get yourself the Pandemic Brew. They're probably sold out, but when they get more, it'll be on the Pandemic Crew socials.
Well, and if you're not of age, I've heard that Ben sells fake IDs, so you're all hooked up there. Don't worry about that.
It's there.
Make sure that if you're heading to a game,
I don't actually sell fake IDs, guys.
Yeah, put that out there, I suppose.
Yeah.
We'll just tell them that. Make sure that you use code Philly Sports Report. Hold the S, and that can be used on SeatGeek. You'll save a little bit of money on your first purchase. Help yourself out. Help us out. You get to see a great show. I'm gonna get to watch it from the couch. Who's complaining? Not me. Make sure that you tune in to our next episode coming next week. I believe that is all I have. Thank you all for listening. Peace out.